Revenge films.
My name is Amy. Several years ago, during the holidays in May, my then boyfriend and I decided to visit each other's houses. But it wasn't for a marriage proposal. Since we were still college students, and we've only dated for about a year, it was more of introducing each other to our parents. At that time, we had a Japanese mixed breed dog, but since he was old, he spends his days by either slowly walking around the house or by sleeping on the porch. Since we had about an hour before my parents would come back home, I decided to let my boyfriend relax in the living room. Then, since my dog loves people, he came to the living room to greet my boyfriend.
Huh, you had a dog.
Yeah, he's old though. I was thinking, does he like dogs? Or will he pet him? But he suddenly grabbed my dog, flipped him, raised him above his head, and stomped his feet onto my dog's stomach. Startled, I yelled out, "What are you doing?"
Dogs have to be taught who's superior. Look at him. Since he knows that I'm the superior one, he's being calm now.
Saying that, he continued to stomp on my dog's stomach. My dad will do something similar, but he'd do it much more gently. More like petting him with his feet. My dog liked that, so he'd always wag his tail happily when my dad does that. But what my boyfriend was doing was nowhere close to that. And he even had his slipper on. It seemed like he stomped through my dog's stomach if he stomped on him even a little harder. Please stop! He's not being obedient because you're superior. He's usually calm. He's already old too. Stop abusing him!
I'm just teaching him who's the master here.
Irritated by his attitude, I yelled, "The master is my dad, not you!" Then my dog, from the pain from a stranger, made a whimpering sound.
What are you whimpering for? You damn dog!
And kicked my dog hard. Then, my dog cried. What are you doing? Are you out of your mind?
What are you saying? He tried to defy a human, so I'm trying to discipline him.
That's because you're treating him terribly. This is just absurd. Leave already!
Huh? What do you think I came here for?
I was out of my mind to introduce a guy like you. I'm breaking up with you, so go home now.
Huh? Don't mess with me! Why does it end up like this just because of a dog?
For you, he might just be a dog, but for me, he's part of my family. I can't possibly introduce someone who stomped on my family to my parents. So I forcibly made him go home. I went back home and hugged my dog, who still seemed to be terrified. Are you okay? Oh, it must have hurt. I checked if my dog was okay and took him to the vet just in case. Fortunately, there was nothing wrong with him, so I was relieved. To my parents, I just told them that he suddenly remembered other plans and went home. But because of today's incident, I was totally over him. I didn't think he was that kind of person. Since then, he'd tried to contact me several times, but I'm breaking up with you. I never want to see you again. After saying that, I never picked up his calls. Then, he began to spread bad rumors about me at school. He said things like, I'm a lousy woman who gives you the impression that she's interested in you, but dumps you when she gets tired of you. Or I made him pay for many of my things, but after finding out that he was low on cash, I dumped him. Anyhow, he spread so many bad rumors about me, I was given cold looks at school. My close friends knew that I doted on my dog, and knew about the horrible treatment he gave my dog, so... What is up with him? He's the one at fault, but he's making it your fault. I can't believe him. It's okay. Since my friends are believing in me, I'm fine. Although, I didn't feel happy about the situation. There was no way I'd go around explaining the situation to every single person, and since I didn't have evidence either, I decided to let time heal the situation. But when he'd see me, he tried to take revenge on me and say,
Oh, look! A wicked woman is walking! To look down on men? She's such a scum!
it was pretty painful to be looked at coldly by so many people. Then, a guy suddenly came up to me.
Are you Miss Amy?
Yes, you're right.
I keep hearing that you're going around playing with guys.
Yeah, it seems.
But I heard some girls desperately claiming that the person at fault is the guy. So I was wondering which is true.
I was genuinely really happy to hear that my friends were doing their best to try to clarify the situation. So I told him the truth of what actually happened, and how he began to harass me because of that.
That is a terrible story.
Are you going to believe me?
Well, to have friends that try so hard to clear you of false accusations, you can't be a bad person. After hearing from you, it became more clear.
Because of this, I began to talk with Mr. John more. Mr. John liked dogs, and he apparently had 2 small dogs at home.
Can I go see your dog one day?
Of course! I kept quiet about what happened to my parents, but I told them that I no longer had feelings for my ex, and that my friend was going to come over to see our dog. Hearing that my friend is a dog lover, my dad welcomed him with a warm attitude. As for my dog, after smelling Mr. John, he seemed to like him and followed Mr. John everywhere he went. In the meantime, at school, many rumors were going around, but Mr. John explained my situation to many people, so by the time I noticed, the rumors were fading. As for us, we gradually changed from friends to lovers. Although my ex was still going around spreading bad rumors about me, since my friends and Mr. John went around explaining to people, more people began to believe that my ex is actually the one at fault. Shortly after, I heard that my ex was not coming to school. Apparently, he went to his cousin's house, and the cousin had a dog, a Doberman. I guess he was still mad about what happened between us. He did the same thing to what he did to my dog while the cousin was preparing drinks, and stomped on the Doberman. But then, furious by his actions, the dog bit my ex's foot quite hard. Apparently, he cried in a screeching voice. It's obvious that the dog would get mad. My dog didn't bite him since he's a calm dog. And for him to stomp on a Doberman, it's almost an act of suicide. Obviously, the cousin became furious and yelled,
What are you doing to my dog?
to my ex, who was on the floor crying. It seems that the wife of the cousin called the ambulance right away, so the injury wasn't that serious. But since he was the one who abused the dog first, apparently, he was sued. Since he couldn't walk, he took classes online for a while. But because of this incident, he became traumatized by dogs. So every time he'd see any kind of dog out on the streets,
Don't come close to me!
he'd be petrified in terror. He totally deserves it. With this incident and my past experience, which was spread by my friends, he was the one to be looked at with cold eyes at school. Although he went around spreading bad rumors about his ex, he was actually dumped because he abused her dog. That's terrible! He's such a scumbag to abuse animals! With so much criticism going around, he couldn't come to school anymore, so apparently he repeated a school year. As for Mr. John and I, we continued dating, and I was introduced to his parents one day. His 2 dogs were really cute and soothing. As for Mr. John's parents as well, "Oh, you are a very fine lady. Please take care of us." She greeted me very nicely. After that, I married Mr. John, and we even had children. My dog passed away shortly after we got married and had children, though. He left for heaven happily surrounded by my family, Mr. John, and our children until the very end. I think now, he's watching over us from heaven.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.